Hey, how you doing? Let's look at NEET 2025 chemistry pura paper with a disclaimer. There are some questions I don't like and I just won't solve them because they're directly from NCERT and you can find them if you like. Okay, let's start with the first question. The ratio of wavelength of light absorbed by a hydrogen atom when it undergoes n equal to 2 to n equal to 3 and n equal to 4 to n equal to 6 transition respectively is what? Now, what do you do here? Well, you know that 1 by lambda is going to be proportional to 1 by n square, right? Because energy is proportional to this. Well, sure, it is z square by n square, but we can ditch the z. Okay. So if it's going from 2 to 3, it's going to be 1 by 4 minus 1 by 9. Okay, that's 1 by lambda 1. What about the second one? 1 by lambda 2 is going to be 1 by, what is this now? 16 minus 1 by 36, and that's what you have. So you have 5 by 4 into 9, and this is going to be 36 minus 16 is 20 divided by 16 minus 36. This is a lot of maths for a NEET paper. I will admit this, which is great, I guess, but also may piss some people off. Like, oh my God, this is not how NEET is supposed to be. Come on, it's great, I think, you know. Anyway, you have 5 by 20, which just becomes 1 by 4, which is interesting. Did I miss something up here? That's 16 by 4, which is 4. Okay, I think I was supposed to find the ulta ratio. So answer is option 4. Ratio of wavelengths, yeah, this was 1 by lambda 1 by 1 by lambda 2, which then becomes lambda 2 by lambda 1. I'm supposed to find lambda 1 by lambda 2. Answer is 1 by 4. Easy question. Takes a little bit of time, which is interesting because NEET में normally ऐसे सवाल कम आते थे, इसमें ज़्यादा time लगे. Khair, let's see how the other questions are like. There's some really fun questions and some of them are just weird. You know, the usual script where you have direct NCERT questions, वैसे भी सवाल हैं. Like this one right here, where the following statements are true. But you can scam your way out of this. Unlike gallium that has a high melting point, no, it does not. Gallium has a low melting point. You know, the whole thing of पानी में डालो and dissolve हो जाता है metal, that's gallium right there. CS has a very low melting point. I don't remember this. We'll have to look at data. I don't remember this one. But this is wrong. So A is incorrect. So I've got to just eliminate options. What about between C and D and C and E? So I've got to identify C or E के बीच में which one is correct. Yeah, C and E. That's what I've got to look at. I don't have to care about the others. Oh, there are isoelectronic species. Would you look at that? Looks like I've got my answer already. Okay. Hey, no, C was right in both cases. E and E or D dekhna tha na? Yeah, I did that a little quickly. Atomic radius of cesium is greater than lithium and rubidium. Now you need to know what is the order of things. Is it this or is it this? And exam ki anxiety mein you could mess this up. So I'd go with this one. C to definitely correct hai. The correct order of first ionization enthalpies of all of these is blah 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 blah. I feel that the highest first ionization enthalpy will be of magnesium because this is a S2 configuration. This is P3, and you know that aluminium is weird. Aluminium is, you know, it forms an Al3 plus ion. So although this is half filled, this one is fully filled, and this is going to be the least. I think Na is going to be the least, right? So this part's okay, but I think magnesium should be higher. So D is not correct, which means C and E should be correct. You can check out the other options if you like, but this is good, I think. Oh, this is interesting. Both of the values are the same. Yeah, this is direct theory. When it comes to melting points, I think they are almost equal. This question may seem tough if you go and get stuck in the first question. Hey, what's happening with cesium? But you don't have to do that. You already know gallium does not have a high melting point, so you can scratch that off, right? Which already eliminates options, and then you focus between C and E. If you don't remember E, it's okay. You can still figure out with D. All right. Let's go on to the next question. Iska answer kya tha? We're going to mark this as this right here. Whoa, 2 out of 2. Oh, this is easy, man. This is so easy. Now, I'd always get confused whether aluminium was group 3 or group 4 because, you know, aluminium and zinc are, one is in group 3, the other one is group 4. I think aluminium is in 3 and zinc is in 4, but cobalt is definitely in 4. So this is what I'm going with. Now, you've got to do what works for you. I'm not even looking at the options. Maybe we could look at the options and do this, but I feel this is one of the salt analysis things that we should know. Let's check where this lies. B4, B4. Okay, that's, I cancel these two out. And cobalt in 4, cobalt is A4, cobalt is group 4, which is 3. My God, this is what is confusing. This is what probably makes the paper hard because you've got all these numbers that are similar. B same, C or D के बीच में देखना है. Okay, so D was group 3, but this is 2. See, that's confusing. That's a bad way to make a paper, boss. if you're messing this question up, it's probably going to be because of the 2s and 3s. That's not a good question. It could be a good question, but God, this is just a weird test-taking experience, man. It was a great question, but this is what got confusing. This 3 and 2 and oh God, that's bad, dude. That's bad. What about this one? This is an interesting question. It's a great question, actually. I like it. I usually don't like organic because it's got a lot of mugging to do. In the NEET arena, okay, generally organic, no, you don't have to mug a lot. But you'll see there are a lot of muggy questions here. But this one's great. Predict the major product P in the following sequence of reactions: HBr, benzoyl peroxide. Then there's KCN, and then there's this. Now, usually when you add CN, it adds to the carbon chain, okay? एक और carbon add हो जाता है, which means the CN just gets added. And what's happening here? Na, C2H5OH. I feel that this is a reducing agent, okay? But let's see, देखते हैं क्या होगा. Now this HBr, what this HBr does is, well, bromine gets added somewhere. If it's Markovnikov, it gets added here, or it could get added here. Yeah, this is anti-Markovnikov or Markovnikov, right? Either of those two. If you have studied, this is a little, the only thing you need to know is that this is anti-Markovnikov. After that, you can figure it out because you have multiple options that you could mess things up with. So if we get this right, then the rest of it is very doable, right? But there's only one option that fits this narrative. Sure, there is another one where you got NC being formed. Now that's a scary thing. NC, that's unlikely. Okay, because you've got this reducing agent at the end over here also, right? What does that do? That reduces this cyanide group to this. So answer should be option 1. It's a great question because it's got multiple steps. So it's not, maybe this is more like a JEE main question than a NEET question. Usually NEET में बहुत direct सवाल आते हैं. Answer is option 1. Okay, let's move on. Oh, this is awesome. Yeah, takes a bit of time, which is probably why people thought that the NEET paper this time is a little hard. You got He plus and Li2 plus, but it's direct theory. Interesting. Another atomic structure, very similar to that, that whole what's happening with energy, radius and all. Okay, n square by z is what radius is proportional to, right? R naught times this. And similarly, energy, what we've got, energy is proportional to E0. You put 0 on top. I think you put 0 on top. Anyway. Oh no, that's E naught. That's a different E naught. E1. Let's say E1. Times, what was it? Z square by n square. Okay, cool. So, I got to divide by z, which means divide by 2, divide by 3. So, I get 26 point something and 17 point something, or 16 point whatever. 53 would be, yeah. So, now where do I see these numbers 26 and 17 point whatever? Okay, everywhere. But I am dividing by 2 for He plus. So, where is He plus? Dividing by 2. So, 26.4 I see here and I see here. So, I can scratch out these two. Okay, so I've got to decide between these two. Z square, the higher the Z, higher the energy. Okay, so lithium will have a higher energy. In this case, lithium seems to have a higher energy. Hence, this is the answer. So, it takes a little bit of effort, right? You can do it extremely quickly as well. But because of the way they formatted this question, पढ़ने में थोड़ी सी आगे पीछे में दिक्कत हो सकती है. But cool, easy question. ठीक है, थोड़ा effort लगा. Let's move on. Which is following a paramagnetic. Now these are like, if you are just, there are 5 things here. What makes this question a little random is this last chap here. Because they're like, what on earth is PPS3? You've probably seen this in coordination. If you have been mugging NCRT nicely, you've probably seen it there. Like, वहाँ पे this is given as an example of naming, I think, this specific ligand. But whether it's strong or weak, you don't know. I mean, I don't know if you know or not, but generally it's not an NCRT. Anyway, this one's weak, this one's strong, this one's strong, this one's weak. Why do I need to know this? Because look, what's happening here? There are 2 things here, right? Paramagnetic is usually when you have a weak field ligand. Usually, okay? Because if you have an even number of electrons, they're going to pair up. Do they have an even number of electrons? Let's see. When you have a strong field ligand, right? Let me write that down carefully. If you have a strong field ligand, it forces pairing of electrons. Why? Because pairing energy is lower than the splitting of, whether it's tetrahedral or octahedral, etc. Whichever case. Okay, now we've got a weak field ligand over here. So this is Ni2 plus, which means it's a D8 configuration. Okay, so and yeah, nothing's going to happen here. Is this sp3 or is it going to be dsp2? Think about it, right? This is very interesting. You've got 2 things going on over here. These are standard ways of doing things. If you want me to write down the expression, I can do that here. Right? What is nickel? Nickel is D8 4S2. Did I get that right? I always mess up. Nickel, cobalt, copper, zinc. Was it copper? Is it cobalt, nickel, copper, zinc? It's 27, 28. I think nickel is 28. Yeah, we're good with that. So if we've got this to be the configuration, these two go away. So this becomes DSP2, or is it SP3? Think about it, right? From this conversation, it's pretty sure that this is going to be DSP2, but the mistake that I am making here by calling it DSP2 is that यहाँ पे pairing नहीं हो रही है ना. See, if I open this up, and this is why this question could also get tricky. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is what happens when you have weak field ligand. When you have a strong field ligand, that's when pairing happens. Pairing होने के बाद क्या होता है? This. Then you have DSP2. Okay. But in this case, let me write it here, the summary, ये SP3 है. You don't have to mug anything here. But if you don't mug, then it becomes difficult. If you have mugged, then also it's difficult. I'll show you why. This is SP3. So there's, nothing happening here. And there are a lot of unpaired electrons. So this is going to be paramagnetic for sure. What about NiCO4? Now here, here you have a configuration of 3D8, 4S2. Even after pairing, oh gosh, even after pairing, all the electrons just go and sit into D8, right? D8 and the next two, let me use a different color. Looks like we are doing some theory of coordination compound, but it's okay, no tension, right? These are your 8D electrons. And what color do I use? These are your 4S2 electrons that got pushed in here. Okay. So again, you have sp3 hybridization, but non-paired electrons. Okay. We did a lot of theory that maybe was not necessary for this discussion, but great. This is what makes this question a little bit tough. Strong field ligand again, but this is going to be DSP2 and no unpaired electrons. What about this? This is a weak field ligand, same as the first one. So both A and D are going to be there. Now, the reason why I did this thoroughly is because your options are this and this. Now, between these two, you're going to have to take a guess, unless you know that PPH is strong. Yeah, if you don't know that, you got to skip this question. There are two reasons to skip this question. One is that it could be lengthy if you don't remember things. Second is this idea if you don't know this. And the other reason would be कि भाई मुझे मालूम है, I know it, then I'll definitely mark it, right? But it could make you panic in an exam. You've got 5 different things here. You've got to decide what to do. And a lot of NEET questions had these sort of things, where you have 4 or 5 things and you've got to pick how many of those are correct. Anyway, the answer of this one is 4. I've pretty much taught you coordination on this one, but let's move on to the next question. So nitrogen can form ammonia, arsenic can form arsine. Okay, interesting. Antimony cannot form antimony pentoxide. Yeah, this is theory question. I don't particularly dislike it because, well, you're supposed to read this, right? Oxides of nitrogen and, well, P block oxides are definitely in your syllabus, right? This is a snip from NCRT. They do form, pentoxides. So what does that mean? Be careful here, the negatives here. Antimony cannot form, it can form, hence this statement is wrong, this statement is fine. So 1 is right, 2 is wrong. Okay, let's move on. Which among the following electronic configurations become to the this is a weird question, right? After those questions, this sounds like something you give to a 10th grader, because what are you talking about? But again, you've got this stuff going on over here. Anyway, this is a D block element, this is also a D block element, this is a D block element, hence these are your representative elements, S and P block, right? So A and C is going to be the answer. Not time consuming at all, but let's move on. Okay, great. We're on a streak now. Dalton's atomic theory could not explain which of the following. How many questions are we with? We're just done with 8 questions in 15 minutes? Oh God, I think it's because I took a lot of time on that first one. Has it been 15 minutes? Well, let's see. I should have put a clock. Dalton's atomic theory could not explain which of the following. Are you serious? Okay. Yeah. Let's move on. Anyway, cool. I guess they give you some freebies. Consider following compounds. This is a good question because if you mess up on this, it's because you don't know the basics. You would be tempted to say, hey, this is +2. It's not, right? It's always going to be +1. That's never going to change. So you eliminate these 2 options. This is superoxide. Okay, it's in NCRT. It's not complicated at all. But if you're going to do this quickly, you've got to mess that up. This is -1 for sure, which gives you 1, 2 with the answer. That's it. right? So you need to know that this is the structure of peroxide. I'm not drawing it properly. I know it's drawn like this, but yeah. And this is 6 for sure. This is from a different unit, but you don't need to know it to be able to solve this question, right? It has 2 OH groups because you have, 2 hydrogens that can come off and this is an acid. This is a structure, not the most beautifully made as sulfuric acid, but there you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of them, right? Connected to all electronegative elements. All of them have -1 on these and +1 on all of them. There are +2, in fact, there are 2 bonds here, so you get it. Count the number of lines and you've done this. It's there in detail in the theory part of redox reactions. Check it out, it's on the bento link. How do you decide, if you have this structure, how do you decide what the oxidation state is going to be? Yeah, very doable. But you don't have to do all of that for this question. This question is very easy doable, just if you read NCRT, we'll figure this out. Okay, let's move on. The half-life, all right, finally some effort. Half-life for a first order reaction is 1 minute. The time required, oh God, for 99.9% completion is what? I said effort because, you know this expression, KT is ln A naught by A. And you also know that T half is equal to 0.693 by K, right? So I'm going to use these two to get back here. Now, T 99.9 is then going to be equal to ln A naught by 0.001 A naught, right? You got to get this right. You got to be quick enough to figure this out. If you mess up on this, then this question becomes undoable practically, right? If you write 0.01, you'll see that your answer doesn't match. But luckily, you have options. This is not JEE main where you got to put in a number. So I think, yeah, you should still be able to do it. Anyway, I forgot a K over here, so we're going to put that here and say that this ln is going to be 2.303 times 3. Okay, awesome. Divided by, what is this? What is K? 0.693, right? Times T half, which is 1. Look at these beautiful numbers. All of them get cancelled out, and what remains is 10 minutes. Great question. Simple, but very doable from first principles. The correct order of wavelength of light absorbed by the following complexes is what? I love this question because, again, you can do this with logic. How? Strong field ligand, 3 plus, which is high charge, and weak and low charge. Now, what decides the extent of splitting energy, right? The magnitude of splitting energy. Well, by these are the exact factors, right? If I have high strength, and I know the English could be better, but high charge, and both of these lead to a large splitting energy. Now, if there's a large splitting energy, that means that this guy right here, the wavelength that's going to get absorbed is going to be small, right? Small lambda, large frequency. I could say that, yeah, we're good with that. High energy is E is equal to H nu, right? High frequency, low wavelength, okay, cool. So let's get back to this idea. Large splitting energy, small wavelength. Which of these has the largest splitting energy? Now, between Cn and NH3, I don't remember, man. Between A and B, one of them is the highest, but they're in the same order, right? This is weak, so I'm going to go out on a limb and say that this will be after A and B. So I feel that ABD or BAD should be the order of things. And the only one that has that option is option 2, and you're good on this. So with logic, you can solve this. You don't necessarily have to mug things. You could also see that, mugging may be the only option. Pardon my handwriting. Oh my God, my handwriting is bad. Looks so beautiful on the small screen. When I look it up there, oh my God. Yeah. Anyway, apologies. We're solving questions quickly. This is what you get. Yeah. Let's move on to the next one. Which of the following compounds can exist as cis-trans isomer? Great question. You can do this by logic. Pent 1-ene. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1-ene. Now both of these hydrogen atoms, so I don't think this can. This can exist? Hold on. I don't think this one can. 2-methyl hex 2-ene. 1, 2, 3, 4. Same thing. 1, 2. 2-methyl hex. Also here. What? Okay. That's interesting. Okay, again, two CH3 groups. This also can't. You know the drill, right? Why would I not have cis trans isomers? Well, you know, if I have the same group on one side of the double bond, that means it can't exist as cis trans. This is the basic idea of cis trans isomers. That's what I'm doing. I'm drawing the structures to see if that works out. 1,1 dimethyl cyclopropane. Okay, cyclopropane. 1,1 dimethyl. Yeah, same reason. Not gonna happen. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. You don't needn't always have double bonds. You could also have, well, a CH3 over here that could exist as cis trans isomer, right? One wedge, the other dash, etc., etc. Not here. You'll see that in the next one, I guess, because if all three of these options are off, that means the answer must be option 4. Sherlock said so, right? So 1, 2 dimethyl cyclohexane. Okay, that's interesting. Cyclohexane. Oh, great. Let me just draw them. So this would be cis, and the other one would be trans. Coincidentally, what we were talking about right over there, right? Oh, they both look the same. Never mind. Let me try and do this slowly and beautifully. Yeah. This is going to be trans, and this is going to be cis. Yeah, so that's possible. Awesome. Good question. If students are not sure about these basics, they could mess it up, but elimination maybe it's possible, I think, to get the answer that 4 is 8. Next one. How many are we down? 13 questions. Phosphoric acid ionizes 3 steps with the ionization constant values, blah, blah, blah. Ka, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So, well, this just means that total K is going to be equal to Ka1 times Ka2 times Ka3, right? That's what this means. Okay, perfect. If I put a log over there, then these are additive. That's what log does. So this one's correct. Which of the following statements are true? So A is correct. The only one A is not there is in this, so I can scratch this out. Okay. S3PO4 stronger acid. Perfect. This is correct as well. B is correct as well. So I can scratch this out. Ka1 greater than, ye bhi sahi hai. This is also correct. Hence we scratch it out, get this answer. Sweet. This is, yeah, this is absurd. I don't know why they would do that. There's no necessity for this to happen. Ka3 is going to be much smaller than Ka2. There's no necessity for this sort of a weird thing to happen. Anyway, yeah, this is off. So cool, doable, maybe takes a little bit of time. I think you're used to doing NEET in a way where you go through chemistry quickly. That may not happen in this case because you have got multiple statements. You got to select which ones are correct. There you go. Thankfully, one easy question out of the way. By the way, thanks to Akash for the paper. You can see that there's a thing in the background. They got the paper out quickly, and I thought I'll do the NEET solution right away. Oh my God, I think it's been a month since I'm late just by a month. But thanks for the papers. So formatting was great. It was easy for me to do all of this. So yeah, which of these from benzene? I know that this one does for sure. I know that this one does for sure. This is cyclization and this is red hot tube. I've marked this so many times from the NCRT. Easy question, right? Well, you got to select between 1 and 4 which one's the answer going to be. The hint should be that there's water in the mix. Usually when there's water and there's a benzene ring, it leads to phenol derivatives. If not phenol itself, some sort of phenol derivative. So this is what's going to get formed over here, right? You have that plus N2, etc., etc. This is the chapter means, which means that should be the answer. 4 is the answer to this one. Theoretical question, easy one. Okay. Molar conductivity, great question. Finally, some effort again, some amount of physical chemistry. 0.05 mole per liter solution of monobasic acid. Extent of dissociation. You need to know this formula, right? Without this, you can't proceed. You just can't. If you don't know this, yeah. And what is lambda naught m going to be? It's going to be a summation of the cation and the anions, right? Which is in this case, what is it going to be? It's exactly what, 401 or something like that? Yeah, 401. It's a weird number. Is it 400? Did I mess up math? I did mess up math. It is 400, isn't it? It is 400. Beautiful. Okay, so what is alpha going to be here? It's, wait, 0.05. Huh. Molar conductivity, okay. Extent of dissociation. Lambda m is given. It is 90 by 400. Wait, a minute. Does it give me the answer? It should. Okay. What is 9 by 40? I can't believe I'm stuck on 9 by 40. But it happens to the best of us. What do we do for 9 by 40? I don't want to solve this. It's 2.25. Never mind. 0.225. There you go. So answer should be option 3. Let's move on. I like the physical chemistry part of it. Don't enjoy arithmetic so much. Okay, given below two statements. No, this is wrong. When you have something that has zero bond order, that's not stable, right? As bond order increases, bond length decreases. What? Increases? No. Decreases. If bond order increases, then the bond becomes stronger, the bond should come short. Both these statements are false. Good. A freebie. Great. Wait. Jaldi mein mat karna. Both statement 1 and 2 are false. Okay. Next one. Out of the following complex compounds, which are the minimum conductance in solution? Minimum conductance. Well, that's a pickle. If this is maximum, my life would be easy, right? Let me change the question to maximum. Then I get one option. If I get maximum, then it's great because I have 4 ions. 3 from here, 1 from here. This is basics. Yeah, basics of coordination. You put a compound in water, it will split up into ions unless the whole thing is a coordination compound like option 1 and 2, which means that they would have the same conductivity or conductance, and it would be minimum. 1 and 2 both would be correct here if that was a question. If it was maximum, then I think 3 is okay. So if I change the question to maximum, then it's 3. I really hope it was not minimum because that would mean like a messed up question where you have to get marks and all of that. Anyway, let's move on. XCF2, great, I like it. Hey, all right, this is a fun paper, man. Okay, where's all the muggy organic? There's usually a lot of muggy organic. XCF2 is linear. Let's go B1, scratch out a few. Why is it linear? Come on, you know this. And then all of these other things. How many does it have? It has what? 8 electrons. 2 went off here, so there's 3 more doing their thing wherever they are. XeOF4. Oh, this one's fun too. I think we can do this. You know, I just felt like skipping XeO3 because whatever. Don't like it. I like this. Yeah. You've got all of these. You still account for only 4. So we've got these 2 here. Square pyramidal. That's what this is, right? Here's your square and there's your pyramid. So we've got where do you go? This, right? Okay, so C4. Ta-da! Okay, let's move on. 1 is the right answer. You can figure out the other options also if you like. They're from NCERT. Oh wow, I like this. Testing the basics. This is a nice paper, man. I enjoy solving this so much more than I enjoyed solving the JEE main question. I like the NEET paper this time. Minus 74.8, which means exothermic, which means delta H is negative. What is delta H definition? H products minus H reactants, which means H product is lower than H reactants, which means on this energy axis, products are going to be lower than reactants, which means either this or this and not this. Okay, cool. Then what is this energy 74.8, right? It's a difference between R and P, which means it should be option 1. This right here, this is the activation energy. Okay, so not the answer. Great question because it's testing the basics. Some folks who have not studied the basics properly may have messed this up, but those who have would enjoy it. Like, hey, great, some free marks. Okay, sweet. Let's move on. Oh gosh, what is this? Huh? Really? Okay. Wait, is this from a chapter that's not in your syllabus? Colloids. Is that surface chemistry? Huh. Is this there in solutions? Perhaps. Anyway, easy to do. What is smoke? Smoke is solid particles in gas. Solid in gas. So let's do D3. Where is D3? Okay, 2 options with D3. You can pick anything. I was just being random. I picked the last one. Now, out of this, I need to identify where B and C are. Okay, B is easy. Alloys is solid in solid. So B is 1. So I think option 2. Ta-da! Easily doable. Great. Correct order of decreasing basic strength. This is why I don't like organic. What am I supposed to do with this? I'm just going to give you the answer. Like I have zero logic here. There's a lot of this thing, this, that, this, 4-5 cheezein. It's hard to remember all of it. You gotta just mug and say that, look, secondary is better than primary in case of amines. Sure, I'll tell you where the non-mugging part is, right? If you got amines that are aryls basically, yeah, you've got a benzene ring attached to it, that's not going to give away the electrons easily, and that's basicity. So the benzene side of things, which is benzamine, should be towards the end, should be the last actually. Oh wait, look at that. I don't hate this question so much anymore. You can get the answer just from that. Benzene amine is the last, is the least. Sweet, actually I like this question now. Oh, I love it. Yeah, you can figure it out. The rest of it is in your NCRT book itself. Between ethyl and methyl, there are some discrepancies. But in both cases, secondary is always greater than primary, right? Sure, tertiary ka order is somewhere in between, but this should be the answer. Sweet. Look, N-methyl aniline is also like a, yeah, you can figure it out. I know this is like a weird thing that's stuck in the middle, but this is the right order. Let's move on. Equal number of atoms. That's a boring question. Not going to enjoy this so much. It's donkey work. That's probably why you may skip it or spend a lot of time on it. It's one of those two, right? What's a lot of time? Okay, fine, not a lot of time, but whatever. How many moles you've got, and that into number of atoms, right? I don't think this is helping me writing down. I think it should, yeah, moles times number of atoms in each molecule, right? That's what you've got to do. So mole here for this one is going to be 2 into 2 by into 6, right? 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, what about this? This is 4 times 3. Okay, what about this? This is 6 times 4. Interesting. Oh, there's more. Okay, this is getting boring. We're going to go to sleep. 6 times 2. Okay, God. Okay, 44. This is 5 times 3. So 15 kahin aur 15 to nahi lag raha hai. 3 and 4, 3 and, so I'm going to scratch this out. E is not going to be in the mix. Scratch that out. 6 into 2, 12, 6 into 4, 24. 24 is a big number. I don't think that's coming out anywhere else. So 12, 12, 12. So we've got A, B and D. What? Yeah, thank God. Oh God, I can't believe they made us do that in NEET. Anyway, 10th grade question, but okay, cool, thanks for the marks, I guess. Yeah, don't enjoy this at all, this question, but I know for a fact that B12 is pernicious anemia. I kind of remember that. That doesn't narrow it down, but as you can tell from my voice, I'm not enjoying doing this question so much. Oh God, why do I have to do this? Yeah, rickets, which is the same. God, it's just, what, I don't know between B2 and B6, which is the answer, man. So for them to ask this question is cruel, because you got to mug the whole NCRT to answer a question like this, right? The answer is option 2. Solution is mugging the NCRT, I suppose. The next question. Great. Thank God, a better question. Lovely question. Decreasing acidity of aliphatic acids. Now, this has a COO minus group. Use a different color here, quickly. COO minus group. And then you've got something else attached to it. It's R, right? Or R2 or R3 or whatever. Whatever you're attaching to this. If there is something pulling these electrons away, right, that makes it stable. I'm just going to call it pulling electrons. But this chap here, CH3, pushes electrons. You know this has the inductive effect and all of that. So it's pushing electrons. That's not good. Not good for acidity, right? What is acidity? Acidity is cleavage of this bond, right? This bond that existed, if you break it, then makes it a good acid. If you increase the polarity, which means you give it more electrons, you give it more of a negative charge, that's not going to be good for the acid. That's a bad acid. So what's the best acid? HCOH is going to be your best acid. And the more number of methyl groups you add to it, the worse it's going to get. Acidity, right? So I think this should be the answer. Like a nice question. Basics, but yeah, can be done by logic. This is tough too. This is a tough question. This is a tough one. This is a question I'd skip. Yeah. Statement 1 is true if you know it. Statement 2 can be done by logic, but you have to know the periodic table like really well to be able to do this, right? The first point is that, look, this is a 3D element, okay, chromium, which means it's at 24. Okay, 4D would be 24 plus 18. Why 18? Because after 24 you have 6 more, which is 25 to 30 of your 3D elements. Then you have 31 to 36 of 3P, and then you have 2 more of 4S, and then you have 2 of D, right? So this is, you have the rest of this thing. So this is, did I count that right? Yeah, and the rest are D, yeah. So this is going to be 42 is your next guide. Then you have plus 18 again. Here's where things get interesting, right? After lanthanum, wherever that is, right? Lanthanides start. So this is a lanthanide, pehli baat to ye, neodymium, right? It's used in magnets, very important thing. So how many electrons does this have, right? That's what you've got to figure out. This Cr2 plus would have, let's figure that out. How many does Cr2 plus have? You have 3d5, 4s1, so 3d4, right? Now what do you do here? Where is this element? Is it F3? Is it F4? If it is, because the deal with F block elements is that they have, say, 4Fx, and they have, what do they have? They have 6s2, and they have 5d0 to 1. That's their configuration. So you being able to identify that, okay, after this 42, again, you have 6 more of 4d, right? And then 6 more of 4p. That makes it 54. Then 6. Oh, so you got 2 more for your 6s, right? And then you are at 56. You have 4 more electrons. Now here is where things become weird. I'm going to open up the periodic table to show you this, or you can do it by yourself. Right? It's not 4f4, it is 4f3, because you have this chap right here also, which is a 3d element, sorry, a 4d element, that takes 1 electron and then the rest go here. So the configuration for this Ram Kahani ye hai, it's going to be 4f3, 5d1, 6s2. You take these away and then becomes this. This is easily a JEE main question, it's not an advanced one, this idea over here, right? So decently tough question, unless you mug the periodic table really well and you know where it's at. So this is false, second one is false, first one is true, answer is 3. How many questions do we get done? 26 questions, not bad, 26 questions done. I don't know this question, I'm not going to bother solving it. This is such a NCRT question, you can figure out what the answer is. Should I even try it? Yeah. Oh, I know crude oil is definitely fractional distillation. B3, figure it out from here. I think, yeah, kar lena khud. It's in grade 11. Yeah, move on. This is great, I like this question. Backward reaction rate constant is higher than the forward rate by a factor of this. K is Kf by Kb, which means this is 1 by 2500. Without doing this, without knowing these basics, you can't even proceed from this. Like, kuch nahi kar sakte aap is question mein. Also, this is Kc is what you're going to have to assume, because Kc is Kp RT per delta n. Wait a minute, or is it Kp equal to Kc RT per delta n? Which one is it? Because that's what you're going to have to do here. Oh my God, which one is it? Do you know? Okay. PV equal to nRT, right? So if I take P to be equal to n by V RT, and then that write Kp equal to Kc, because this is nothing but C RT per delta n. Ooh, that's how I mug it. That's my way of mugging it. Okay, so Kp is going to be equal to 1 by 2500 times R is 0.808. Oops, ज़्यादा हो गया. 0.0831 times 1000. ये क्या हो गया? ये कितना हो गया? No, don't divide by 1000. What is 1 by 4? Oh, then we can do this. This becomes 0.033, right? Wait. Did I do something weird here? This seems weird. I'm getting 0.021 actually. 831 divided by 2500. Oh God, I shouldn't have done this weird maths. It's not. What am I doing, bro? It's 10 by 4, right? So anyway, आप लोग please ठीक से करो. Let me erase this and do this properly. फिर से 1 by 2500 times 0.0831. What you have to do is get, this is 25 into 3, 75, right? So it's 0.03 something. The only option that matches is 3. Don't worry about it. Move on. What I tried to do there is required for JEE main, because you got to put the exact number. For NEET, this is enough. Okay, 2 statements. Oh God. Great. Yeah, I think both are correct. Both of them, I don't like. See, this is the part of organic I don't like. Both of them are right. Right option here. Read NCRT. Move on with life. Answer is 1. Okay. How many products including stereoisomers? This is a tough question, bro. It's a decently good question. I'm going to have to spend some time on this. That's what I'm a bit of. It's very doable, but you're going to have to spend time on this or skip it. Decide what you want to do. So, let me make it 1, 2, 3, 4 like this. This is my base product. Where can I add chlorine? I can add chlorine here. See, this is just one compound because I've got 2 CH3s added to it. This is not going to be chiral. If I have chiral, then I'll have this whole idea of a stereocenter, hence stereoisomers. Okay. What if I added chlorine here? This makes this chiral. Okay. So there makes it 2. All right, sweet. Let's look at other spots. What other spots can I put chlorine at? Ooh, what if I put chlorine here? Then this makes this chiral. Then there are 2 more over here. The only other spot remaining for chlorine is this last one over here. And in this case, hey, is this one chiral? No, I don't think so, right? I don't think so. Because you got a couple of hydrogens here. So it's not chiral. Never mind. So 4, 5 and 1, 6. Yeah, I think the answer should be 6. So takes a little bit of time, but doable from basics. Lovely question. Hats off. Thanks for making fun questions to do. Okay. Oh, this is great, right? You either know it or you don't. You could spend a lot of time on it, wasting time, or you could just move on with life. This is an sp3 carbon. This is an sp carbon. This is an sp2 carbon, right? Sp is harder to break than sp2, which is harder to break than sp3. That's it. So 2 greater than 1, sorry, 2 greater than, 2, 1, 3. Where's the order? 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3. Let's move on. Great question, easy to do, but logical. Does not decolorize bromine water. Okay, yeah, logical question. I like it. Answer should be 1 because everywhere else there is, these are ring activating, which means that they'll probably form compounds that look like this. Yeah, they'll probably form that here as well. You can figure this out. And this one, sure, bromine is going to get added, etc., etc. The drill, brominium ion, etc. Jo bhi chalega wo banega. Nothing here. So 1 is the answer for this one. Easy one. I just did that. I think this is a 5-second thing you mark and move on, not something you spend time on. What about this? This is slightly tough question. Slightly tough because you need to know that CH3 MgBr, well, it's Grignard reagent, right? From basics you can figure it out. But if you, try and look at the options and figure things out, it could get a little tricky. Because options say, this one says that CH3 only attacks this carbon which is electropositive. But even this carbon is electropositive. So CH3 should also attack this, technically, right? You've got excess MgBr. If it did that, then you're more likely to get this as the answer. You mark this and you move on, right? If you think a little bit more, then you may also want to put this as the answer or this as the answer. So don't think 2 is the right answer. Okay. If you want to know the mechanism, this is exactly as is, right? Firstly, you've got your nice benzene ring, and I'm just going to be lazy, right? Yeah, that. You've got OMGBr, OMG, and you've got methyl group over here, yeah. And then on this carbon as well, you get this, and on nitrogen, interesting things happen. You get MgBr over here. Now, what happens is that this is, oops, there was a triple bond here, right, between this carbon and this. Now it becomes a double bond. Okay, cool. After this, when you put water here, it just removes this guy here, goes away, takes this away as well. So you are left with a keto group over here and yahan pe OH. Okay, this doesn't break here is what I was trying to say. That's the main thing. If it did, you would get other options, which luckily not here. So 2 is the answer. Let's move on. Exhibit the highest boiling point. Well, delta TB is equal to I times KB times M, highest value of I. times m should give you the answer, right? So 0.01 times 1, 0.01 times 3, 0.01 times 2, 0.015. I don't know, I'm writing bar into 1. This one should be the answer. Yeah, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Okay, 45 questions takes time to do, bro. We only done 34. Fun. Not the most fun question, this one. What the heck is Wacker oxidation? I have no idea. This is this, this is this. You need to mug it. There's no other way around it. Wilkinson catalyst also you know. So actually you can do this without knowing what on earth Wacker is. This rest of it is in NCRT. I think Wilkinson in NCRT. I think so. Yeah, it's given in I'll show you the screenshot, right? It is given somewhere in coordination compounds. Hence the answer is option 3. You don't need to know what Wacker is, so still doable. Oh, great. Yay, physical question. Solutions. 5 and 10, which means 1 by 3 and 2 by 3. You should be able to that's how quick you need to figure out what the mole fractions are. Why do you need to know mole fractions? Because what is P going to be equal to? It's going to be P naught A. Am I messing up where A and B should be? Yeah. P naught A XA plus P naught B XB. That's going to be equal to your total pressure, man. That's what this question is about. The vapor pressures of pure X and pure Y, that's P naught A, P naught B are given to you. You need to find the total vapor pressure. Oh, you don't. Okay. Oh, this is a decent question. Which is following is true regarding the described solution? You got to figure out its positive and negative deviation. So you got to find this pressure and then see, this is a nice question. Okay, cool. So we do find the ideal pressure, right? Ideal pressure would be 1 by 3 times 63 plus 2 by 3 times 78. 75. Oh, thankfully divides by 3. Great. So this 21 plus 26 into 2, which is 40, 52. Wait, did I mess something here? Math seems off thoda sa. 26 into 2 is 52. 52. Okay. This is 73. But it's given to you that it should be 70, which means that the pressure is lower, right? Obviously, I know 70 is lower than 73. Hence, there's a negative deviation. That's the answer. It's a great question. I like this question. 2 is the answer. Sugar is found in honey. Remind me of a song. Is a keto sugar. There are only 2 things found in honey. Sadly, you got to mug that. That's glucose and fructose. The fact that it's a keto sugar should tell you it's fructose. That's the answer, right? Yeah, rest of it is not important, but you can figure it out with that. Just this. It's there in biomolecules. Mugworm it, guys. Not the most fun part of organic chemistry. But this part is relevant to you as a doctor. You're going to have one entire semester of biomolecules. Identify the suitable reagent. Not so much of a fun question. It's from NCRT, guys. क्या करूँ मैं? Ester को reduce करता है Dibal H to an aldehyde. Muggy. Let's move on. Given below are 2 statements. One is labeled assertion, other is labeled reason. SN2 faster. Yeah, okay, cool. Theoretical. Iron is better leaving group. Also true. I think, yeah, 1 easy question. चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं. Standard heat of formation in kilocal per mole of Ba2 plus is something, is what we've got to find out. Oh, this may seem like a difficult question actually, but I think it's doable from first principles, right? Let's write them all down. Heat of formation of SO4. I want to do 1 by 8 S8. I know this one is going to look scary, but this is what it is, right? Plus 2 electrons, give me SO4 2 minus. Don't worry about this 1 by 8 S8, it's not important. But since standard enthalpy of formation is given, we're doing that. Standard heat of crystallization. ये क्या बला होती है? What is standard heat of crystallization? Do you know? Do you know what that's going to be? Heat of crystallization. देखो crystallization is definition you have to know यार. मैं क्या करूँ यहाँ पे, right? If you don't know this definition, you're not going to be able to do this question. Those are just facts, right? This is your second value, which is minus 4.5. This is minus 216. This is BSO4. And crystallization है तो solid होगा. Cool, great. That's a good thing that it's solid, because your standard heat of formation of BSO4 is also going to have BSO4 solid. And if I go with S8, rhombic sulfur being the standard state. That's what I remember it to be. If it's not, whether it is or not, is really not relevant to this question, to be honest. Plus Ba solid plus 2O2 gas, right? Okay. क्यों लिखा मैंने इतना? Because मुझे इसका नहीं, ये भी दिया हुआ है, -349 दिया हुआ है. What do I need to do? I need to find out Ba2 plus. Okay, so I need to know what is, use a different color here. Ba giving me Ba2 plus 2 electrons. That's what I need to find. So I'm going to have to reverse this reaction, पहली बात, right? Because Ba2 plus on the other side. If I do that, I also have to reverse this. Really? Okay, reverse both of these. What about this? SO4 2 minus. Gosh, do I also have to reverse this? Am I reversing all reactions? Let me just check. Did I do that correctly? Wait, hold on. 349 को reverse करने की ज़रूरत है? नहीं यार, इसको क्यों reverse करेंगे? Sorry, you don't reverse this. You leave it as it is, because see, LHS and LHS, right? This is on the LHS and this needs to be on the LHS. We leave it as is. Why do I reverse this? Because that's on the RHS, but here it is on the LHS. I need to go to the RHS. Similarly, I need to have these electrons on the RHS. Go to RHS. Hence, I need to reverse that. That's how I look at it. So I do -349 plus 4.5 plus 216. Okay. So that's 220 minus 349, 120 something. But is it negative? Yeah. Perfect. Little time taking. Not gonna lie. Little time taking. आगे बढ़ा जाए. This is a tough question. This is a JEE advanced question. मेरे लिए. Maybe I'm a noob in organic, but I feel this is a JEE advanced question. Yeah, bro, it is. Cyclic ether. Okay, पहली बात. यही देख के आधे लोग are gonna leave this question. What is a cyclic ether, bro? Okay, cool. This is your cyclic ether. Sweet. Does this have any forms? Does this have any cis trans, whatever? I don't think so. Okay, what about a 4-sided structure? 4 carbon inside and 1 carbon on the outside. I can have that. Okay, is this, oh wait, did I do something off? I did something off. This is a meso compound, right? This thing, what you might call it? Not meso, sorry. This is like, it has a, what's that thing called? Symmetry, line of symmetry. Yeah. Plane of symmetry. So this is going to have just one compound, 1 and 1. This is going to take a little bit of time to figure out because I'm an OC noob. What if I put this here? Okay, then I think I can have cis trans over here, right? If I do this, what do you think is going to happen? Do you call it cis trans? Do you call it DL? What do we call that? Well, there are 2 isomers for sure, and since I'm an OC noob, I'm not going to say whether cis trans or DL. You figure that part out. DL होगा क्या? सोचने दो. Is this? Yeah, this is a stereo isomer, so I think DL makes more sense. Anyway, I'm gonna not talk about that so much. Let's count. We're good at counting. Let's count. What if I do this? एक जगह H और दूसरी जगह CH3. This is a meso compound, right? So this is going to have just one. But I could have one more, by the way. I could have one more compound that looks like this. No longer a meso compound. So you have 2 of these chaps. How many do we have already? 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 हो गए. एक option अभी तक eliminate हुआ है. You see why I said this is difficult? और कितने बाकी हैं? I've got the triangle thing. Can we do more with triangles? Let's have some more. I don't think we can do anything more with squares, right? If I put this elsewhere, if I'm going to put it on the other side, it's the same. Let's look at this cyclic ether. And this. This has 1 or 2. I feel that it should have 2, right? There should be, there's a, what you might call it? This is a chiral compound, so it should have 2. Okay, cool. So, great. Now we are at 8. Which could be the answer? Is that the answer? No, I think you have another one. With this triangle business, I have this compound as well. So I've got to 9. Or break it to 10. 1, 2, wait, let me check. फिर से 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh my god, we've hit lucky number 10. And you're still not sure. Is it 11? Is it 10? You don't know. Well, I feel it's 10. I will mark this. But that's what gets to you in the exam. If you're going to spend this much time counting, might as well be a JEE advanced question or maybe a tough JEE main question. Anyway, I would skip it in the exam if I were you. अगर ऐसा सवाल आपकी लाइफ में कभी फिर से आया तो. Total number of possible isomers, both structural as well as stereoisomers of cyclic ethers. Oh, wait, hold on. We just did this, bro. Deja vu. Really? Dipole moment. पानी का ज़्यादा है. हाँ सही है. पानी का सबसे ज़्यादा. पानी का ज़्यादा है कि NH3 का ज़्यादा है? Wait. I don't want to get stuck in this trap. I think we can eliminate things. What about B? Number of lone pairs on. What? Of course not. B is wrong. B is wrong. So we scratch this out. Okay. Bond enthalpy. No. Nitrogen, oxygen, hydrogen. Yeah. This is correct. So B is wrong. D is correct. That's the answer. Don't take the trap. इसमें time मत लगाओ. Move on. B wrong, D right gets you the right answer. High yield can be obtained at high temperature. सही बोला because ये endothermic है. Low temperature नहीं. Higher concentration, yes. Oh, okay. That's a freebie. ACD only. Moving on. The rate constant of a reaction is something. Another question from kinetics. Very interesting. But this is significantly easier because what you're going to do is you're going from 7.2 to 0.9, which is essentially to 3.6 to 1.8 to 1.9. That's 3 half-life. If I do 3 half-lives and I've been given that rate constant diya hua hai, right, T half is going to be equal to 0.693 divided by K. Yay! What do we need to do? Get the final time, na? Time कितना है? 3 half-lives. Okay. So, K की value दी है? हाँ दी है. 3 into 0.693 divided by 0.03. Would you look at that? 69.3 seconds. That's an option. Beautiful. Oof. Last question. Took us some time, didn't it? Oh, great. Lasagna's test. Anyway, I'm hungry. It is lunchtime. You won't know it. I'm going to upload this later in the evening. C plus N giving NaCN. I don't know why I'm writing. This is like a theoretical thing. Yes, no. 4 is off. So 4 is the right answer. It does not belong. Theoretical question. Don't hate it. Mugged it enough number of times to be able to answer it. Hey, so time taking is what I understand, and there were 2-3 questions that I think were actually like difficult, right? Which I would be like, boss, isko chhod do exam. There's no point in doing this, right? But most questions were doable. Just 2-3 were difficult, but the time management thing may have been a big concern. I feel may have been difficult because of time. Where am I not? Let me write time on top of Homer's. Oh, sorry. Ned's face. Time is the main thing, and maybe 2-3 questions needed to be skipped. Mainly in the interest of time, even if you're like a topper kind of a person. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the session. Come to Discord, links in the description. Ask as many doubts as you want. And I'm going to try and do more of these sessions. Sorry that was this late. I have IIT and JEE Advanced also to do from 2025. Hopefully soon.